Welcome to another episode of Fuck Your Job. I'm Ron Worley.
And I'm Josh Fullenweider.
Fuck your job.
Jobless Legion, this conversation picks up where we left off last week. We were discussing the steps to build a spec house based on our experience. Go back and check out the start of the conversation from last week if you haven't heard it yet. Thanks so much.
So once you get once you find your builder and you've got your plans, what do you think the next step would be?
Well, so we came out here and met with the builder, and I thought that was important when we came out and decided how we wanted to lay on the lot. Mm-hmm. We knew that according to the covenants, so you have to introduce those to the HOA to make sure that we can build this home out here.
Yeah, so the HOA and the architect worked together to make sure that the property was acceptable.
Right, and this is after we purchased the land, right?
Kind of concurrent. A lot of this stuff goes on at the same time.
Right.
So you want to make sure you can afford it too.
Right.
So if you're paying cash, if you've got a bunch of cash, just go do whatever you want, I guess.
Right.
We did have to get a loan.
We did, and so what we can be honest with our viewers.
Yeah.
We put approximately $110,000 down.
Yep, 110 down.
For the loan.
Yep, so we paid for the lot and most of the water tap up front in cash.
Right.
So,
which was our portion of the loan. We had to put 30% down or 25%.
25%.
Yeah.
So.
And then the bank gave us a loan on the actual building of the home.
Correct.
Yeah. And we took draws out for that. So if you're not familiar with draws, you just take out a little bit of money to pay off the invoices as they come in while the house is being built. Mm-hmm. And we pay interest only on that.
Correct.
Until it matures.
Yep. I liken it to a credit card. Once a month you pay all the bills. Once or twice a month you pay all the bills.
Yep.
Goes on the credit card, which is your construction loan, and then you just pay interest on it, and then at the end of it, you either have to refinance that into a permanent loan if you're building your own home, sell the property if you're building a spec home, or you've got a neat product out there that you're working with, right?
Yeah, so I'm working with some lenders that you're able to do a one-time close, and basically for nothing more than earnest money or a little bit down, we can get you in out here in Platteville because it's USDA. They'll help pay for your down payment. So you can actually get in for very little money down, and we'll get you into the home with a one-time close. And what happens is the buyer actually closes up front, and it just automatically turns into a matured loan, like a mortgage, a regular mortgage, after your home is built. So you're paying interest only, then it matures, you never close again, so you save $5,000 to $7,000 just on closing costs. Right. And the buyer owns it. So really, as a real estate holding company, there's nothing to hold.
Yeah.
So it kind of kicks us out.
Yeah.
But for a builder, it's a great program.
Yeah. So if somebody wants to build a spec home, can they use a program like that, or do they have to do more like what we did?
So I think they, as far as look, I'm not a lender. Okay, I'm gonna say that right now. I'm not a lender. We can send you to a lender that will tell you the answer to that. My assumption is yes, you can do that as a spec home.
Okay. And if you can't, then you plan on. My thought would be do what's called a house hack, but just do it with a piece of property you're constructing. You move into it for a year, live in the property for a year, and then sell it, and nobody will bat an eye.
So yes, but I think the rule is 2 years possibly.
Is it 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, 1 or 2. I think it's 2 because you have to pay 1031s if you don't live in it for 2 years. 2
of the last 5 years.
Right.
You're right. 2 of the last 5 years. So
we worked through it right here in front of you. You're
welcome. So it takes a little while to get all the parts and pieces put together. Okay. So they go out. What's the best place to get a loan? Do they just go to their local bank, or?
Honestly, that's the best rates and whatnot, in my opinion. There's a lot of lenders out there that will lend on construction loans, or those one-time loans. For us, we went to a bank. They had the lowest rate. It was easiest to deal with them. They got behind us. We were more of a partnership with the bank than we were just borrowing money.
Correct.
They're prepared to scale up with us if we made this work. So we were kind of looking at our future as well.
Yes.
Even though we're done, they weren't.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think that's key, is getting in a good partnership with your money part. But then it's a matter of what's next.
Okay, so after you've got your loan, you've got your place picked out, you've got your builder picked out, you've got your plans drawn up. Then it actually gets to closing time, where you've got to actually purchase the property, put up or shut up.
Yeah.
Literally put up your money or shut up.
Right. So you close on the property, you buy the lot. We're buying the lot, everything's done. We put in our 25%. You're holding on to a line of credit for the
And
bills.
you're praying that everything works.
Pray it all works. So you've lined up your builder, he comes out and starts digging holes, right?
Yep, starts digging holes. I do want to go back and touch on finding a good builder though.
Okay.
Because we went through a couple of builders before we settled on one.
Yes, sorta.
Yeah. So you brought somebody to me and we liked the guy, but we didn't go with the guy. Do
Right.
you remember why that was?
I didn't trust him.
That's it.
Yep.
You nailed it.
Yeah, we
You
didn't
got-
trust him at all.
You should trust everybody that you're
Yeah.
doing business with in this transaction.
Right.
Really, even your architect who is only going to be involved for a few weeks at most, and your engineer who's only going to be involved for a few weeks, you got to have trust at every level.
Yeah. And I think it's important to take a look at their work that they've done. And the first guy was like, yeah, I've done work over here, over there. You can go look at my houses. Well, they're all finished. And some of the houses he had us look at were just
They weren't.
dilapidated.
Yeah. He's like, well, I only did this little bit to it.
Right.
You know, he was fixing homes, not necessarily building them from the ground up all the time.
But he made great claims. Oh, I can do it for this and this, and it sounded like we could make money. But ultimately, what happened is I ended up hiring him to do a side job for me on my house, and it took him like 2 or 3 months to get it done, and it was a very small job, and that was the end for us. We knew we couldn't trust him at that point.
And he also couldn't come up with a budget for us. Remember
That was the big one, yeah.
We kept saying we need a budget to give it to the bank because
Yeah.
the bank will require a budget.
Right.
And he said, well, I can build it for such and such an amount.
Right.
And honestly, he probably could have, based on the fact what we've now got here and how much we've spent.
Right.
He's probably dead on with how much, but he couldn't break it down line by line.
Right.
And that was what the bank needed, and that's what we needed to feel comfortable as well.
So trust your builder.
Yeah. Trust, and your builder is going to be the one that's in it with you the longest, so you really need to trust them.
Yeah.
Like,
And it came down to that for us out here. We had a few things happen along the way where Dennis had to be loyal to us.
Yeah.
Or we would have lost
well, we
out.
lost money, lost buyers.
Right.
So it's a big deal to
Right.
trust. And he could have easily made more money by then going out and selling another house to the people that were at one point looking at this property.
Right.
And he'd already got his money from us. He could have built another property and been done.
Yep.
So loyalty and trust.
Yep.
That's a big one.
He's a good dude.
Yeah.
So, all right, we better speed this up
Yeah.
for him. Okay, next step.
Next step, after you've closed on the property, then it's the long game of
Waiting for it to be built.
waiting for it to be built.
Right. Now, you want to be a part of that build. Come out and visit a lot, especially talk to your builder a lot. So if you don't want to be out here bugging them, you want to let them do their jobs, but you just want to make sure it's coming along. Not only on the sales side, for me, it was important that I knew so I could keep the MLS updated. But when a realtor called, if I hadn't been out here in a week or two, a lot of crap's changed in a week or two. So telling them that it's framing is done could be a lie. It could be done and then some, or no, it wasn't done, just because I listened to where it should have been in the project.
Right.
So it's important just to keep up with it. Don't bug your builder. Let him do his work.
Yeah. So I came down at least twice a month. Most of the time I was coming down once a week, and because I was more managing the draw side than the loan side. When you're doing your draw requests, you're going to be required to submit those to the bank, and the bank will send their own inspector down. What you don't want to happen is your builder to submit an invoice for something and it's not done yet.
Yeah.
Because the bank will send somebody out to do an inspection, and if it's not done, the bank can halt your whole project, because now all of a sudden trust is destroyed. So you need to keep an eye on the project just to keep the project moving forward. So one time my builder did send me an invoice and he said, this is not done, it'll be done next week. And we had an agreement upon a payment schedule. I just asked him, I'm like, okay, do you want me to pay you next week, or do you want this one part of the invoice to be paid within the next cycle? So we came to an agreement on that. Then I sent it to the bank, and the bank didn't have, when they sent their inspector out, no problems.
Yeah.
But I was a lender, and yes, I did halt builds because,
It wasn't done.
yeah.
Okay. So when do we start? I'll just answer this. We started selling the home right when the builder started. As soon as we had plans, I had put it on the MLS.
I don't even think we owned it yet, did we?
We owned it.
We did? Okay.
I had to own the land in order
Okay.
to put it on the MLS. So
Day one.
Yeah, closing. The night of closing, I put it on the MLS, and we were selling the plans. And we had a lot of people calling and looking that couldn't quite visualize it. And most of the people started coming out of the woodwork once the framing was started.
Yes.
Wasn't finished, but it was started.
And we did have a leg up. So our builder had built this same plan once
Correct.
before, and it was on the market. So we got great pictures of the as-built or previously built home.
Yep.
And people still couldn't quite get it.
Right. And then we had the luxury of having people want to change things
Yes.
in the house. And we actually fired a buyer because they were wanting to change too many things.
Yeah.
And it was gonna change the look of the house, actually.
Changed the look of the house, and it was going to add about 10 to 12% to our cost.
Right.
And some of the things, we were on a timeline and they were getting back to us after things had been installed.
Right.
Walls had been built. And now it became an issue of, okay, well, we've already paid for this, now we're going to pay for a repeat over here and tear out of that.
Right. So we fired them, unfortunately, and moved on to the next one. We've actually had 3 different contracts on this house. One that was under contract and then failed, and then is now back under contract with the same people, thank God.
Yes.
So we are closing soon with them.
Yeah.
Full asking price.
So
How many steps did I skip there, Josh?
I don't know.
I think,
Well, we were talking about the build. So, and this is kind of concurrent because as it's being built, you're trying to sell it.
correct.
Well, we were trying to sell it.
Yeah.
You might just want to build it for yourself, but.
But if you're going to do it for money, you want to get it on the market right now.
Yeah. So I guess after the build starts, the next step is the sales process.
Right.
The sales process, they're both going on at the same time.
Right. So huge benefit to our dynamic is that I'm a real estate agent and I'm able to do that part without charging our company. That was built into the deal. You did the banking, I did the real estate stuff. If you're not a real estate agent, you're going to have to hire someone. So you need to really plan on about 8%.
Yeah, for both
For
sides.
closing costs.
Both sides of the transaction plus any fees at closing.
Right. So that really takes away from your profit because that's a
Yeah.
lot of money. 8% of 550,000.
Yeah. So we're only paying one side of the transaction.
Right.
And really, she wanted the deal done bad enough for these people. I think she took a cut on her pay, didn't she?
She did, yeah.
So really, we're not paying 8% or
No.
even close to it. So.
No.
But if you need a good real estate agent who knows how all this works,
Oh yeah, I know how to do that. So yeah, that's very helpful. If you have a real estate agent that can help you get through the first process, they're probably going to be able to be good for you going forward. If you're somebody that's going to do this on a scalable, talk to your real estate agent and see if you can beat them up a little bit to help you out. There's no reason if you're doing 10 a month, giving them 10 guaranteed deals a year, they should work for a little bit less money.
you'd be happy if somebody said, hey, I'm going to give you 10.
I'd be so pissed off. But you know what? A lot of the builders, this is why when you go buy a home, a lot of the builders, those guys only make 1%.
Yeah.
I won't name names.
You mean those realtors that are right on site there?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So first time or new built home realtors, most of them don't even have a real estate license. So they get 1%. And that's that, and the builder's saving money by doing that. Now we know why they do it.
Yeah.
It makes sense. It saves them $15,000.
And if you can get up to building 10 houses home consistently a year, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But a real estate agent probably won't take a pay cut if you're
Right.
only on your first deal.
Right. And honestly, you shouldn't ask them to because that real estate agent is going to do all the marketing and probably spend 1% of their own money to just do the marketing for that. they should spend 1% because they're building their future as well with you. So they can get you up to 20 homes. That's a good idea for them.
Yeah.
So,
and I cannot stress enough how important I think it is to have a real estate agent. A lot of people out there try to go and do it themselves.
Yeah.
I'm a real estate investor. I buy and sell a couple of homes a year, so I know what I'm doing.
Right.
I know everything, and I still pay real estate agent fees on pretty much everything I do,
Yeah.
unless it's person to person and I know the person I'm selling
Right.
to. But all my stuff where it's kind of going through MLS, I do not represent myself. The biggest thing why I don't represent myself is I want somebody there to manage my timeline.
right.
Because once you get under contract, there is a timeline, and if you don't stick to it, you can lose money.
Yep.
And that has happened. That happened on this deal.
Yes.
We didn't lose money, but people that were...
Buyers did.
The buyers did.
Right.
So...
And it was highly important that we kind of boxed with the buyer's agent because they were taking advantage of us to a point, and we had to put up our dukes and say,
No.
we're not doing that anymore. And we kept them to the timeline, and we actually kept the earnest money at one point to make up for the losses we were taking. So,
Yeah.
and only a real estate agent can do that, because when you're personally invested, it's a whole different story.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I had to use my wife because I just want to get rid of this sumbitch. That's all I kept saying. And then luckily Aaron stepped in, and we kept it real.
Yeah.
So
I don't argue with Aaron.
no,
Nobody does.
the negotiator.
All right. So you get it on you've done your sales. Now you're under contract.
Yep.
That's one of the final steps, really.
That is, it really is. Now you're at the home stretch. I really think we should probably just speed up to the closing end of this. We close the deal, and we start counting money, right? We have to pay back who?
So once
Bank.
it closes, bank will get paid back.
Yep.
We'll probably verify with Dennis that all invoices have been paid before we distribute to ourselves.
Right.
But I've done that along the way, so we shouldn't have any surprises there. Then it's pay the government and pay yourself.
Yep. So moral of the story is find a good home, find a good place to put your home, get a great builder that's going to do this home for you, find a great bank that's going to loan you the money and be a partner, and then find a good realtor that's going to help you sell the sumbitch.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
We'll talk about finding investors later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Investors are good.
All right. We're going to wrap it up because that was way longer than the planned 10 minutes.
He's going to have to cut.
Yeah. So, say fuck your job, guys.
Fuck your job. Join us on Facebook at The Jobless Legion, or subscribe to our YouTube channel, and like, comment, and share.
So that we can get the message out to aspiring entrepreneurs just like you.
Thank you.
Fuck your job.